so much for joining us for another episode of Coffee and Chaturanga. If you have just joined us and you're not really sure what this is about, go back to episode 1. It's a little bit of yoga infused with life happens. And today I wanted to introduce y'all to two yogis that practice together. They're married, and I think it's one of the most unique relationships, bonds, friendships that I've seen, and I know that I have not even seen as much as you guys have and the love that you have for each other. But it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see when two people practice together, and whether they come together, whether they come to different classes, they're both practicing. And I wanted to introduce y'all to them today. So this is Liz and Reed. If y'all would start by letting us know how you each stumbled upon yoga, how you got into practicing.
I was in a very stressful anxiety part of my life, and at that point I decided that I was going to kind of put everything on hold and take care of myself. I've been taking care of Reed, and I've been taking care of my husband, or my father, and I had been taking care of all my friends, and it was wearing me out, and I was stressed out, and I was just in a really bad place. And I went to Reed and I said, I'm going to take a year for myself. I'm going to do all the things that I've kind of put on pause to take care of other people, and I'm going to start doing them again, and I'm going to add to it. And one of those things that I added was yoga.
Wow.
I guess I've been practicing for probably 5 or 6 years. I started here at Barefoot when I was 17. Breezy was nice enough to give me some free classes in exchange for cleaning yoga mats and cleaning the floors. But I started originally as a means to heal myself. I was practicing a lot of martial arts at the time and injured myself quite frequently. So I initially found yoga just as a means to an end. But it wasn't long before I discovered that there was so much more depth and breadth to yoga than I had possibly imagined. And I would say after a year I was doing a lot less martial arts and a lot more yoga. It kind of slid right in, and it was really what I needed. I think that what I had missed was some of the calm, the self-care, the acceptance that comes from yoga that I didn't really get in the competitive martial arts world. So yeah, I had been practicing for a few years in home practice and in the studio when I met Liz. She was pretty resistant to practicing with me at first. I think it was hard for me to not be the teacher. And if you've ever been in a relationship, you might know that you have to come about it as equals. You can't try to take a position of one-upsmanship all the time. So
I don't like it when Reed tells me what to do. Ever. I'm working on it.
We've found ways around that. And I'm really thankful that Liz supported me through completing my teacher training last year, which was something that I've been looking forward to for over 10 years now. So
I was so excited.
Yeah. So I would say now that I have that, the registered yoga teacher behind my name, she comes to me a little more frequently to ask advice about yoga.
I ask questions. I still am a little weird when you're like, okay, so I'm going to tell you what to do. And I'm like, how about I mimic you?
Yeah, the mirroring approach works a little bit.
I like that. I like when we get together and we do yoga, complete silence. We're very different people, and we work in very different fields, so it's really nice when before we get into a room together to be able to be quiet and flow together. It kind of puts us back into sync, because he's a very social person at work. He's a social worker, and I'm very analytical.
She's an analyst.
So when we get into a room together, right after work, it's kind of two things clashing sometimes. But when we get to start our week off by coming to Monday yoga, and just we meet each other, we give each other a hug when we see each other, and ask about our day for a minute, and then we flow, and then after that, kind of all that stress from our day is gone, and we can just be together.
Kind of back in harmony again.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's what yoga's about. Yeah. No matter who shows up to the mat, even if you don't know them, we've all come from a place of, throughout the day, whether it was chaos or nothing happened, but we've all got different stories, but we all come together at the same place, and it doesn't matter where you've come from. Let's start this together and let's just go forward.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's really beautiful that y'all recognize that.
I think we learned it through experience more than any planning or philosophical analysis of the situation.
Hey, that's pretty much the story of our marriage.
How long have y'all been married?
Let's see, 6 years?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
we celebrate the anniversary of our first date
Yeah, we
rather
do.
than our marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been together 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah. So every 13th of the month, we like go on a date or like have a night just of ourselves. So the 13th of every month is what we celebrate.
Yeah.
And then August 13th is when we met. So that's our like big like let's go rent a cabin and like go chase waterfalls for a weekend.
That's pretty lovely.
We have a lot of fun together.
We do, yeah. And yoga is kind of our weekly date as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of really good friends, and we love spending time with them. We have a lot of activities that we're involved in. But yoga is like the one thing that we're not willing to.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah. It's like eating your vegetables for us. We know that it helps us bond in a way that's beyond words, for sure.
So how do you find your teacher training helpful in your job and your line of work?
Yeah, so I'm a social worker in a mental health clinic. I do one-on-one therapy and also teach groups. And one of the things that I've had in mind since before I got into my teacher training was that I wanted to be able to bring yoga to a mental health setting. Now, it's not that far-fetched, really. Meditation, or as we call it, mindfulness in mental health, has become a part of many different modalities for mental health treatment. But one thing that I noticed in my own experience with trying to practice meditation and practice mindfulness is that it's very hard to sit still and just watch your breath, watch your mind, watch your thoughts when you're uncomfortable, when your body is constantly twitching and wanting to move and all those things. And an experience I got from yoga was that once you attend to your body, it becomes much easier to notice the activities of your mind. And so having that experience, I realized that teaching people mindfulness or meditation seems to be so much easier when you can do it in motion, when you can do it when their physical health is also in line as well. So without getting into it for that purpose, I found a lot of balance and mindfulness in yoga, and I really wanted to be able to share that with the people I serve as a mental health therapist. So I work in a clinic with a very kind of open mind, and one of the things they were very excited about was me starting a weekly yoga class. So since I got out of my teacher training, I've been doing a weekly class that's free for any client. I generally work with clients who I don't do individual therapy with in the group setting, but when I'm doing individual therapy, I'm always offering that we could do 10 to 15 minutes, teach them like a basic flow or a couple of basic postures that they can use then in their home practice. And I'm happy to say that I've had a lot of clients take me up on that now, that we've incorporated kind of a moving meditation, a mindful movement, if you will, using yoga postures and yoga movements.
That's truly monumental. I mean, that's the connection between body and mind.
You really can't ignore one without the detriment of the other.
No. And that's what we often do, is we put focus on one and forget about the other, because it's one of them's usually easier for us to focus on.
Absolutely.
It's the one that dives into everything that we want to run from. Yeah. So I'm very, very happy and proud of you for doing that,
and
for following.
Thank you for supporting me along the way.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I have to ask, do you all drink coffee?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, how do you drink your coffee?
With protein powder every morning.
Me too.
I have a really expensive espresso machine. I won't say how expensive, but I kick that thing on first thing in the morning.
You get your use out of it.
I do, very much so.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
worth
good.
it. Yeah.
I'm glad. I appreciate y'all being here so much. I appreciate what you bring to the class when you come. Even if you are here for you or for y'all, there's still an energy that's given, and I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank
So
you
does
for
everybody
having
else.
us. Mhm.
You're welcome. And y'all have a wonderful day. How
Thank
about
you
we
so
say
much.
namaste?
Namaste.
Namaste.